All right, but first, tonight's top story, special treatment for the entire Biden syndicate from your federal government. While we have big breaking news today, it turns out there are people who are above the law in this country. If you are a Clinton, if you are a Biden, well, in the case of Biden, you can buy drugs, you can smoke crack, you can hire a lot of prostitutes, skip out on paying your taxes or even filing taxes. You can dump a gun in a trash can across from a high school, not register as FARA laws require when doing foreign business deals, and sell access to the White House through your vice president daddy. And Biden's DOJ will always have your back. Isn't that great news? Too bad your last names are not Biden. Now, today, two career IRS officials bravely testified under oath that the United States Department of Justice shielded both Joe and Hunter Biden for years, no matter how egregious their behavior. Now, keep in mind, these two whistleblowers, they're not political actors. They are risking their careers and their reputations and sacrificing their right to privacy to expose what they saw as malfeasance and outright corruption. They're coming forward because it is the right thing to do, and they want the American people to know the truth. Just listen to whistleblower, Democrat, Joseph Ziegler in his own words. Take a look.
People are saying that I must be more credible because I'm a Democrat who happens to be married to a man. I'm no more credible than this man sitting next to me due to my sexual orientation or my political beliefs. The truth is, my credibility comes today from my job experience with the IRS and my intimate knowledge of the agency's standard and procedures.
I thought Democrats loved whistleblowers. They like the hearsay whistleblower if they can impeach Donald Trump. Now, this isn't some kind of vast right-wing conspiracy. According to IRS agent Joseph Ziegler, there is a mountain of evidence that Hunter Biden committed serious felonies. Take a look.
With respect to the 2014 tax year, Hunter Biden did not report any of the money he earned from Burisma for the 2014 tax year, which would have been a tax loss to the government of $124,000. Thus, as I read the public documents as the Department of Justice action against Hunter Biden, there is nothing that indicates Hunter Biden will be required to amend his false tax return for 2018. A false tax return that includes improper deductions for prostitutes, sex clubs, and his adult children's tuition. It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys. I still think that a special counsel is necessary for this investigation.
There's something to write off: prostitutes and sex club memberships. Now, despite everything you just heard, any investigation into the Bidens was apparently frowned upon at Biden's DOJ. And here's Ziegler on CBS. Listen to this.
Why did you want to interview Hunter Biden's adult children?
So a lot of the business deductions, expenses related to the adult children.
Did you get the approvals?
So we never received the approvals to talk to those people.
What did the assistant U.S. attorney tell you?
That's going to get us into hot water.
Is that in the IRS handbook, avoiding hot water?
No, but I mean, I was asking to do these certain things, and roadblock after roadblock was put up in front of me.
Protecting the Biden syndicate. Remember, according to multiple witnesses, investigators, they were set to interview Hunter Biden in 2020 as part of their investigation, but they were ultimately blocked from doing so after FBI federal officials tipped the Bidens off. But even without an interview, there was a ton of evidence of wrongdoing, and that includes bank records and suspicious activity reports, eyewitness accounts, a ton of material on Zero Experience Hunter Biden's laptop. Viewer warning: what you're about to see is quite graphic. The children may want to run and get cookies at this moment. Take a look.
When Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C. on June 15th, this is a violation of the Mann Act. This was prostitution. This is an excerpt from a SARS report that we've read in the Treasury, and I think you all have looked at these too, showing that victim one was supposedly an employee of Owasco. But I would like to point out, this is not really what most paralegals do.
Okay, so why wasn't Hunter charged with a felony after a 5-year investigation? Why just that slap on the wrist? Is the DOJ, is they really now that politicized, that corrupt, that abusively biased, that weaponized for the Democrats? Now, according to the second whistleblower, IRS investigator Gary Shapley, the Department of Justice has, well, a lot of explaining to do. Take a look.
In November of 2022, the statute of limitations was set to expire for the 2014 and 2015 charges in D.C., which included the 2014 felonies for the attempt to evade or defeat tax and fraud or false statement regarding bereavement income earned by Hunter Biden in those years. The statute of limitations had been extended through a tolling agreement with Hunter Biden's defense counsel, and they were willing to extend it past November 2022. Weiss allowed those to expire. I don't claim to be privy to United States Attorney Weiss or Attorney General Garland's communications, but United States Attorney Weiss told us that he was not the deciding person, that he had requested and was denied special authority after D.C. declined charges, and that if California declines, he will have to request special authorities again. I understood the gravity of those admissions. Whether full responsibility lies with United States Attorney Weiss or Attorney General Garland is for Congress, the Inspector Generals, and ultimately the public to decide.
All right, let's not forget, this isn't about some kind of minor financial crime or tax mistake, according to these whistleblowers. And the House Oversight Chairman, James Comer, who will join us in a minute, this shows a pattern of what is serious misconduct involving millions and millions of dollars in foreign cash with a paper trail a mile long. Watch this.
How much money did Hunter Biden and his associates receive from the Romanian company you identified?
So that amount would be from Romania. So the approximate total transfers from the Romania company would have been $3.1 million to everyone.
$3.1 million. How much did Hunter Biden and his business associates receive from State Energy HK Limited through the Robinson Walker LLC?
So total transfers from State Energy HK to Rob Walker was $3 million.
$3 million. Was there a $100,000 payment from CEFC Infrastructure to Owasco PC, Hunter Biden's professional corporation?
Yes, Chairman.
Approximately how much was transferred to Hunter Biden and his business associates through Hudson West 3?
So the total transfers from Hudson West 3 to everyone was $3.7 million.
$3.7 million. How much money did Hunter Biden and his business associates receive from the Ukrainian company Burisma?
Burisma paid to everyone involved $6.5 million.
$6.5 million. Burisma also paid Blue Star Strategies and a law firm hundreds of thousands of dollars, bringing the total Burisma payments to over $7 million. Is that correct?
That is correct, $7.3 million.
$7.3 million. Between 2014 and 2019, this brings the total amount of foreign income streams received to approximately $17 million, correct?
That is correct.
Now, ultimately, we don't officially know why foreign entities were paying the Bidens millions and millions of dollars. No one in the Biden family is willing or able to answer that question. In so many cases, we know they had no experience at all in the partnerships that paid the millions, and it certainly wasn't Hunter's expertise in anything. At the time of these payments, he was an unreliable crackhead. It also is unclear why any other member of the Biden family was receiving foreign cash through shell corporations, given their, quote, limited abilities. And between Joe, Hunter, the weaponized DOJ, the politicized FBI, we are now witnessing in this country the single biggest abuse of power scandal in modern American history and corruption, and yet congressional Democrats, they don't seem to care. For them, protecting the big guy is way more important than ever doing the right thing. They lack the courage. They have no moral compass from today's whistleblowers. And to think, it wasn't that long ago when Democrats revered whistleblowers, even hearsay whistleblowers. Well, as it all turns out, it was all an act, and now we're suffering through one of the most corrupt administrations in the history of this country. But I can tell you tonight that the walls are beginning to close in very tight on the entire Biden family syndicate. We expect maybe Devin Archer will be speaking next week. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.